Georgia, say hi. Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, the doo-dah day.
Boy, howdy.
Hey, John.
Hi, Joe. How you doing?
Bring the rest of the crew in there. I saw you looking at the little video, then like, okay, yep.
Started off showing off and wound up damage control.
Yeah, but
And
it was a
that
Russian plane landing on an American aircraft carrier.
Might have been one of our Russian planes.
Yeah, right.
Well, we've got some we use in practice stuff.
Hey, Donna's here, and I've seen Carl and Dawn making comments already. Shoot, the pregame show looked like it was running pretty
Yeah,
good.
really, we should have just not started the show and just let them keep talking.
Just let them go with the chat. Yeah.
Chat room. Yeah.
And see him go. Are they going to start the show?
Oh, we're waiting on you guys to finish your conversation. Go ahead.
Oh,
So let's get some news out of the way. Big storms headed in the area. There were some yesterday, and there's supposed to be some tomorrow. So much so that for those of you who don't live in the area and don't know, the Chattanooga area city schools are taking a snow day and closing tomorrow because of wind, rain, weather, and hell bent for leather. Wishing my gal was by my side.
Now, we did have a neighbor have a big oak tree go down.
Do any damage to anybody?
No, dang it.
That's we got this big sycamore tree in the back of the house, and the top 20 feet of it got broke off by the tornado a few years back.
Yeah.
It's still healthy, it's still in good shape, but it's a sycamore tree. Which, for those of you who don't know anything about sycamore, the wood in sycamore is a lot like balsa wood.
Yes.
Every time we get a decent windstorm, I worry about that tree coming down on the house.
No, the people moved into the neighborhood, late fall last year, and proceeded to pretty much piss off everybody. 2 houses, or two to 4 houses on every side of them. So when the big tree went down, everybody just sort of looked and went, "Damn."
Couldn't have happened to a nicer folks. Yeah.
I'm in a neighborhood, a tree goes down in your yard, the neighbors show up with chainsaws.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
they'll offer to pay for the wood.
Yeah. Yeah, they had to pay for tree service.
While Joe sat on his front porch oiling a chainsaw.
Sharpening.
Yes. Revenge. It's a dish that is best served cold. All right. Also in the news, of course, SpaceX, the company that brings you fine space products, finally got Crew Dragon off the ground in down in Florida, and it's due to dock tonight at 1:17 in the morning.
Yeah, just after
our show. So
yeah.
So hey, maybe we'll do the whole last man standing and watch the. As much as I like watching that, it is boring.
Oh, docking is boring.
Yes, it's kind of like
watching someone park.
It's a cross between paint drying and a car parking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching a freshly painted car park. Yeah, Carl's wanting to have a green room.
Be careful what you wish for.
Actually, I like his idea about the T-shirts. Throw that one up there. Where is that one?
Oh, it's just under the other one.
Yeah, that one. They need to be green screen Kelly green T-shirts.
So that when you go on camera, the only thing you can see is
not. Everybody will say, "Not the green room right here." On the camera.
As I signed into my T-shirt company page, have you seen those? When you sign into a website where you click "I'm not a robot."
Mm-hmm.
What you're doing is giving that website permission to check your browser history.
Mm-hmm.
To give it, just a quick browser history. And that's like, do I really want to click that now?
Well, if you don't click it, how are you going to get to the website?
True.
Yeah, a lot of the I'm not a robot things now are, it kind of does a brief check, and if it seems like you have kind of an odd browser history recently, it will...
Like the kind of robot would do?
Yeah. It'll then pop up with the captcha and say, select all the images that have a traffic light in it, and then you're sitting there looking at that one image that has just that much of the edge, and you're going, is it going to count that or not?
The other ones I hate are the ones, do you accept the cookies? And the other one, like if you go, You see this a lot with newspapers that they want you to sign up for their website to view stories in the newspaper. New York Times is bad about that.
Oh yeah, I've quit reading the New York Times online.
Just because of that, they keep
If
wanting
it
you to
if
sign
it's
up.
I use the Google News aggregator on Chrome, and if it says New York Times or I believe it's Washington Post and a couple of
Yeah.
others.
They're the same company, basically.
Well, I've just learned. Well, I'd like to read the story, but I'm not clicking on it, so y'all just suffer.
Yeah,
I'll go find the same story on a different website.
Mm.
Strangely enough, I usually wind up on Reuters. So
yeah.
I'll wait
Yeah.
2 days and listen or watch it in the AP.
Yeah.
Now, the thing with the cookies is actually due to the UK, I believe, and a lot of their laws. Because even on
Wouldn't the
like,
UK call them biscuits?
Mm-hmm.
true,
internet biscuits.
internet scones.
Yeah, the trick question is, do you put the cream on first or you put the jam on first?
Misty left, Misty worked.
That would depend on what site you're visiting.
Yes.
So
I
what did
understand that, but
now?
still, that's people that like scones. That's an argument they have. So
I knew a lumberjack once who loved buttered scones with tea.
he was okay.
Yeah, he was okay. You know what's funny is my mom.
Damn it, that song's playing in my head now.
What?
My mom follows me on Facebook, and she is a Stupid Clock fan now. And I often wonder sometimes if she watches this show at night. And of course, we do, the references from all these great movies and such.
Yeah.
And I wonder, does she ever get any of these?
What song?
Check her browser history and see if she's ordering stuff.
What song, Rich? What earworm?
Browser to make sure she's in a robot.
Mm.
Oh, what earworm did he put in my head?
Yeah.
I'm a lumberjack.
Oh, okay. No, y'all were talking about the.
It's stuff playing in my head now.
Yeah, y'all were talking about scones and biscuits.
Yes.
There's a YouTube channel, the New Zealand family,
Mm-hmm.
and they try a lot of American stuff. And they actually took a recipe of how to make good old Southern biscuits and gravy. And they're going, that's a meal. You could have that as a meal. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have that much of an appetite. I mean, seriously, where's the scrambled eggs and the bacon and the sausage and the...
That's what one of them said. It's like, I mean, they're sitting there going, oh, I'm so full. It's so full. People in the comments says, honey, you ain't even got to the eggs and bacon yet.
Really?
Uh-oh, what's got to be screenshotted?
Oh, Carl, it's not just New Zealand. There's at least two different families on YouTube that are doing U.S. food and pretty much everything they can find U.S. It's like I'm sitting here watching British canal boat videos, and there's these folks over in England that are going, "Hey, we want to move to the south of the United States because they got good food." And then there's this Irish girl that goes, "I've never had Popeye's chicken before. This is so good. I hate you, America. You have all the good food."
That's Diane Jennings. I remember.
There's Diane, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know she turned down the role of Daenerys in Game of Thrones?
I did not realize she was an actress.
Daenerys.
Daenerys.
Stormborn. Yes, Daenerys
Yeah.
Stormborn.
Daenerys? Yeah.
Because of all the nudity in the first, when she was.
I never even knew she was an actress. I just thought she was a random Irish girl having fun.
But yeah,
That's kind.
yeah. But yeah, she's very, very prudish on what she wears.
So you're saying she wouldn't want a not the green room shirt?
Yeah, exactly.
She would want a dress.
She would want a not the green room shirt if it was a turtleneck. No. Actually, no. She better check her camera angles. She's been showing some little bit of the goods there.
But yes, Amelia, whatever her name is,
Emily, darn it, she was in Star Wars too.
yeah, she was not the first choice for Daenerys.
Amelia Clark.
Oh, okay. Hold on a minute. Somebody wants a screenshot. Okay, with this. All right, there it is. Whoever wants to get that screenshot of Michaela saying she owes Carl a kiss. There it is. Get the screenshot. 3, 2, 1. That's long enough. All right. See, we help our people. And Carl got it. All right.
Oh. Now there are lawyers involved.
Hell, I'm going to have to help them fix something.
Well, you got a text a few minutes ago or something that says Misty is on her way home from work.
Yeah, Life 360. It's Misty's work, my work, Crow's school, and home. And for some reason, Crow put the library in there as well, so that we know when any of us go or come back or go to or leave the library. And then also my dad's place.
Okay.
So everybody gets the text, or just you?
Me, Misty, and Crow.
Oh, okay.
And it comes up on our phones through an app called Life 360, but we also have it set up so that she who should not be named, or she's going to chime into the conversation, it'll be here at the house so that we know, okay, Misty just left work, start getting her dinner ready so that it's nice and hot when she gets home, stuff like that. Basically, so that we, hey, she left work an hour ago and she's not home yet, and she only works half an hour away. Is she okay? Kind of a deal. Yes, I'm a very overprotective papa.
Now, does it work on Android?
Yeah.
Or is it only an Apple?
Actually, I don't use Apple devices if I can help it. So I have it on Android.
Yeah.
But I believe there's an Apple app for it as well. But any app I use for my phone is Android.
Okay. Well, I refuse to buy anything from the fruit stand either.
Oh, no.
Well, I come from a long line of Viking barbarians, Celts, and Germanic barbarians. So anything we don't understand is of the devil. And Apple products are way too pricey to buy just for the hell of it. If any of my creative endeavors pay off enough for me to buy a Mac, to bring it to Jesus, I get to buy a Mac and bring it to Jesus. But until then, it's not a Macintosh. It's the Satan box.
and get it home, wipe the OS, put Windows on it.
It's what happens when you spend 22 years. 22 years officially in the IT service, if you will, working in Windows only shops, and then another 20 some years before that, only dallying in, Windows and DOS boxes before that. So, yes, DOS. Get off my lawn. Get off my land, you little bastards.
Rich, have you got your sign ready? Is it handy? We might need it just about now.
Yeah. Oh, and Joe Bachman, you got to send me a friend request because I've tried to tag you in some videos.
I will do that right now.
I hear I was having work flashbacks. Thought I heard a backup beeper.
No, that was your printer.
No, that was the timer on the stove so that Crow can bring Misty's dinner out of the oven. I misread Carl's comment about a back blurb. Dyslexia made it look like it said back rub.
That too.
Of course, Donna.
Donna, which one of us are you asking that? Are you warning him about my feed, or are you warning me about his?
Probably both.
Probably.
Well, I haven't got anything yet.
I just sent it.
It's Facebook. What do you expect?
Maybe Facebook doesn't want us warning Joe B about me.
When I hit add, send request, it did say, "Are you sure?"
Prove you are not a robot.
At this point, I can't do that anymore.
Oh, I found a great video today. It was a acoustic punk band doing Minnie the Moocher.
Pardon me for a second while I process that.
Keeping it in the original style, or being more of a modern punk Minnie the Moocher version. I mean,
yeah.
Misty just pulled in the complex.
Yeah, it's on my page.
There's a lot of things on your page, Joe. That doesn't mean we're going to click on any random link, no matter what it's been labeled.
Many of them are going to, never give us up, never let us down, never run around or, desert us.
No, but this, I mean, they're a acoustic punk. Well, not really acoustic because they got electric bass guitar, but it's acoustic guitar and guy sitting on a drum box. And it's Minnie the Moocher acoustic punk.
All right, I'm going to have to look that up. And damn it, Joe, now you got Minnie the Moocher stuck in my head.
Yada, yada,
there are worse
yada.
things. There are much worse things.
And Joe's going to, or Rich is checking it out.
I'm working on the Indie CD site right now, so.
Oh, Mr. Bachman, I finally updated my personal promo page over on Aphelion.
Ah, okay.
It's got a lot of little thumbnail links and things like that you might find useful. The text still needs to be edited again, but there's always something that crops up every time I try and update pages for myself. So let me see if I can pop up that link.
106
and
miles
put it
to
in a private chat.
Chicago. Full tank of gas, pack of cigarettes.
A half
Hit
pack of
it.
cigarettes. It's dark.
It's
We're
dark,
wearing sunglasses.
We're wearing sunglasses.
Hit it.
Whoa. Oh, yeah.
So many tickets starting with that phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you guys get those uploaded, Carl, I will snag those and get those put onto her page.
Are you listening to it, Rich?
Okay.
I'm still trying to make sure I
I.
find the right one, simply because miniature is so covered it's not even funny.
Well, if you go to my page, it's the third one down.
The thing is, do I risk it?
And
Enter
Joe,
at your own risk.
it's the first link in the private chat.
All right, we'll two-face it. That son of a bitch, I can't trust it.
Best 2 out of 3, Rich. It's always best to be best 2 out of 3.
Actually, that is my common.
Oh, this is I'm gonna make this part of the banner, and I want y'all to guess who I'm thinking of.
I haven't the faintest idea.
All right, the coin did me right.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Hello, Keisha.
Hey, Keisha.
I did not expect that voice from that boy.
No.
I did not think that he had enough chest space to be able to put out that voice.
Yeah. Dan, you gotta recognize who that would be in Congress.
I look at this and I'm going, if I paid any attention to any politician whatsoever, I might get it. But the only thing that comes to mind is a Forrest Gump joke.
Do you know who Alex Forrest is?
No, I haven't the faintest idea. Like I said, I don't know who any of them are.
Fatal Attraction. Glenn Close.
Oh.
Yeah. Misty just got home. So I'm going to go spend some time with her for a little bit. So I'll be back in a few, guys.
All right.
Alrighty. Nope, sorry, never saw it, Joe.
Oh, you never saw it. Oh.
Nope. Didn't look like anything I would be interested in. So, yeah, there's a lot of things in pop culture that I have missed out because I see the advert and then I go,
Nah.
No, don't think so.
I've done a lot of movies that way, and people go, you got to watch it. It's on. Yeah. Damn, it is a good movie. Yeah. I think John knows who it is. He's in their district or close to it.
Well, with the way they've redrawn some of those districts, it could be way away from one location and still be part of the district.
There's actually been a guy I've been following on TikTok. He was recently voted in. He won his election for U.S. House of Representatives. He's out of North Carolina, and he's actually been doing videos like since he won the election of, here's the process of, our first days here. And then when the whole speaker debacle was going on, he's like, yeah, this generally doesn't happen. And, my family's been here for the last 4 days waiting for us to all get sworn in.
No, it's Dan's favorite congressman.
Wasn't aware that I had one.
You know, the cute blonde from Georgia.
Wasn't aware that I had one.
She's in all the headlines.
Yeah, right. So, doesn't mean that I'm paying any attention. Here lately, if it's not being photographed by the James Webb Space Telescope, I don't know what it is.
Oh, well. Got a little springy there. Sorry.
Right. Sounds like my friend Jim's reverb in his guitar amp. Anytime he thumped it a little bit, you get that spring sound coming out. He had one of the old-fashioned reverbs. Well,
yeah, I had
old-fashioned amplifier. So
I used to have one of those for my CB.
Oh.
Those were the fun days.
Well, I was listening to mine just today. Had it on the Weather Channel at first, and then after I'd heard all the stuff about this weekend's weather coming up, I've switched it back to Channel 19 and was driving home just listening to the truck drivers. And evidently I got out of range of most of them that were talking, so it was just a lot of feedback whines and reverb and stuff like that. And I'm going, well,
good old AM static.
It worked for some bands back in the 70s, but got a good beat, but I can't dance to it.
Oh, I used to have a sideband radio, and I used to talk with a guy on my way home from work. I used to talk to a guy in Nashville on his way home from work.
Well, when I first got a CB radio, there must have been some tremendous skip going on, because I got home from college for that day, got out of classes that day, and my little brother would hop in my car when he got off the school bus and start playing on CB radio. He was talking with somebody that was in, I believe it was a Radio Shack in New York. And we're in Georgia. And they were talking. I mean, I could understand somebody with a Radio Shack in New York having an overpowered transmitter that we could hear, but he was able to have a conversation with my little brother. So there must have been some atmospheric effects for letting hit.
Oh yeah,
my brother's, because I didn't have an amplifier on the thing. It was just a normal Radio Shack CB radio, basically.
Yeah, well, my dad had the beams. They were called PDL2s.
Mm-hmm.
Set of PDL2s. One heck of a little amp on it, and talking on the radio. And this guy kept hollering at him. Well, wasn't hollering at him. My dad, he was talking, and Dad would holler at him, back and forth. And finally, he goes, 218, I can't talk to you. You're too far away. It's illegal on FCC rules. I'm in Nome, Alaska, and I just can't talk to you. That's a skip.
Yeah, really. Of course, if Carl was here, he could tell us about the wonders of shortwave radio, where that was a normal thing.
Yeah. Oh, Don, absolutely.
Yeah. Radio Shack used to be a great store, and then they decided they were going to make money selling cell phones, and then they were bankrupt. I wonder if anybody learned a lesson from that. Obviously not, because nobody came up with selling the Radio Shack inventory out of an actual store except for the cell phones.
Mhm. When I first started working at Staples, we sold cell phones, and we had, we'd get a commission off of it. We sold Nextels, Verizon, AT&T, all that stuff. And this was back when Nextel was all the rage because you could do the chirp and all
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah. I missed that.
And I would always get these young couples that would come in. Oh, I want to get Nextel. How's your credit? Not the greatest, but not horrible. All right, well, you're probably looking at a $400 deposit per line. What? No, go ahead and run it. It won't be that bad. Okay, give me your ID. Run it through the system, flip the computer screen around, show them what they would be paying that day.
We never had that issue. When we got our Nextels, we had the Nextel flip phones, and work started getting Nextel phones, so I was able to have conversations with my boss off the radio through my foreman, and they didn't like that. But I miss the two-way.
Yeah, when I was a Comcast installer, that is actually those Nextel bricks that were damn near indestructible.
Yeah.
Is actually what we used to activate the boxes with and to close out the jobs and all that fun stuff, which Nextel out in this area had just the greatest service. Please note all sarcasm. And there were times that I was literally putting my ladder back up on the line to get up high enough to try and catch enough signal to close out that job or activate a box. Because God help you if you had to manually call it in.
Oh, I could just about imagine.
Yeah, they push Sprint. But the thing about Nextel was actually started by Motorola Radio Company. Motorola sold Nextel to Sprint. A year later, Motorola turned around and bought Sprint. And went with Sprint has the bigger name.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Sprint also didn't realize when they were buying Nextel just how far behind Nextel was in technology.
And Carl's asking, is Sprint still in business now? Yes, Sprint is still in business. They are owned by T-Mobile.
Yep.
And Nextel no longer exists.
Which I find that absolutely hilarious that T-Mobile bought Sprint, because Sprint was the one that threw such a huge fit when AT&T wanted to buy out T-Mobile. And all of us who were on T-Mobile were like, hell yeah, let's do this. They both use the same system already. We'll have access to a better network. And then
That's probably why they pitched a fit.
And then 2-3 years later, they bought out Sprint.
Well, I use Boost Mobile.
Mhm.
Boost Mobile was the spin-off of Nextel, the prepaid Nextel.
Yep.
And when they took, all went into Sprint, it became part of Sprint, and they're still doing Boost Mobile. Well, when T-Mobile bought out Sprint, FCC goes, y'all got to sell something. So now I'm with a company run by Dish Network.
I pity you. I really do.
Yeah, because T-Mobile already had Metro PCS for their
Prepaid.
prepaid.
Yeah.
Mhm. Now,
Hey, at least it's not Cricket.
Oh God,
hey,
I
I
had
have
them for a
been
while.
having great success with TrackPhone.
Well, that's because depending on which model of track phone you buy, you're either running off of Verizon's towers or AT&T's.
Actually, with TrackPhone, they run off of anybody that is close enough.
Oh,
Yes.
so they've updated then.
Yeah, and no, that's been their thing since 2005.
Really?
They will buy the rights to not hijack, but to piggyback off of everybody's cell phone towers, no matter whose it is. If you're close to a cell phone tower, it don't matter what network it's on, you can use your track phone, and that is good anywhere from Mexico's southern border to Canada's northern border. So the entire continental or North American continent. I was told, don't try and do this in England, you'll get in trouble. But they would let me use it for an alarm clock when I was over there, and they would let me use it as a notepad. So I could write down, I could type in their English telephone number, but I couldn't call it from my phone. I could just make a note of it so that when I got back to the U.S., I could make a long distance call.
Yeah.
But,
Carl's asking about CDMA or GRMS. They use GMRS, but they're phasing it out for CDMA.
EIEIO.
And
Yeah. And says track phone must be dual radios. Maybe.
I don't have the faintest idea. I really don't. I remember we had just bought a brand new one, and 4G came up, and our 3G, 2G, and 1G would no longer work, so we had to buy a whole nother phone, and wound up with a damn smartphone. I'm going, why would I want to get on the internet on my phone? It's a phone. All I want to do is send texts and make phone calls and maybe take some good pictures. That's all I want out of a cell phone. I'm old fashioned. I use a computer for computer stuff.
Yeah. And check your face. Now you check your phone with your Facebook.
Nope. I check my Facebook with my iPad, and that's just about all I use it. Well, I'm looking at our chat here with my iPad, because if I type in a reply to our chat, it comes up under every channel that you have linked.
Well, that's just how the system works here.
Yeah, and the only drawback is YouTube will not give me links to Last Man Standing because it's me. Hey, Zach.
Crew has investigating a possible burst in waste system on the Crew Dragon. So he's listening to comms.
Oh no, don't tell me this shit has actually hit the fan.
Yep.
Well, it was designed to in the NASA toilet.
Yeah.
It had
Um,
the waste impeller in the shit was supposed to hit the fan. That's how they got rid of it.
uh, uh, with my with by using Boost, I pay $117 a month for 3 lines. Every time we go into Sam's, the people at Sam's goes, we can make a better deal with them and new phones. I said, okay. Run your numbers. I need 3 lines, family plan. What can you do? They figure it up, and I go, okay, hold on a minute. Of course, I get a text message every month. Hey, this is due on this day. This amount is due. I scrolled it up, and I opened it up, and I said, they've still got you beat. And they look at me like, now, they said, but our service is more dependable. I'm going, I started with AT&T. I've changed phone companies several times because I don't like the customer service. I have not had AT&T since 2002. About 3 years ago, I get a phone call saying we're trying to collect on your past due on your AT&T account. I'm going, well, by law, that should have been written off 7 years ago. And I've already paid that in 2002. So if you want some money out of me, take me to court.
Well, I hate to say it, but I pay $200 a year
On your track phone?
on my track phone for unlimited text and unlimited internet and unlimited phone calls anywhere in the continental U.S. and Canada and Mexico. Per
Wow.
phone.
Yeah. Oh, per phone. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
$400 a year for me and Lindsay. That's it.
I just looked. All 9 viewers are on our stupid o'clock page.
Oh well.
So one that I didn't know was actually still around or even still relevant was U.S. Cellular.
Yeah.
That's been a while. I didn't even remember they existed.
Near
Till
did
you
I
said that.
until a few years ago when I was still in the IT spot at the state. I had to head down to it was our Rochester maintenance unit. The foreman needed a new phone. And this was before we started giving the foremans iPhones. They still had the old Verizon flip phones. So I go down there and I go to activate his new phone, and activation failed. What the hell? Well, try it again. Activation failed. What the hell's going on here? So I hit it one more time and I quickly turn on the speaker. Welcome to U.S. Cellular. Excuse me? And then I took a good look at the phone screen and went, I'm in roaming right now.
Ooh.
I had to drive 10 miles back up US 31 to actually catch a Verizon tower. Sit in the center median with my lights on, activate his phone, download all the contacts, and then drive back to the unit. And I come pulling back up, he goes, I thought you just gave up and left. No, just had to actually get signal. No wonder no one can ever get a hold of you when you're in your office.
There's a county here that one of the state parks is in.
Mm-hmm.
nobody's cell phone will work in that county unless it's U.S. Cellular. Because the old man that owns the rights to the FCC airways in that area
Mm-hmm.
makes him a sweet deal on U.S. Cellular, or U.S. Cellular pays him to keep the other people out. So now, at the county line, all the way around this county is cell towers. They can almost reach to the inside of the center of the county.
So I'm actually looking at the U.S. Cellular map because I actually went through and Googled to see if they even still had like actual coverage, and apparently they do. They actually do. I was surprised to see they actually do still run their own towers, which is this lovely bright blue and green designation. That's their actual stuff, it seems like. Then everything else is partner coverage.
Yeah. And Carl has a message for you up there.
Laptops. Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
What is that cell company that they've got a cell phone? I mean, it's almost as big as your hand, got buttons that big around on it.
Oh, that's one of the
Old folks cell phone service.
Thank you for saying that. I was really trying to think of how to say that with present company included.
Hey, I was, as soon as he said buttons that big around, I'm going, so for people with limited eyesight?
Oh, that is.
And it's not, they don't have a smartphone on that service. All it does is make phone calls. Jitterbugs. Thank you, Carl.
All it does is make phone calls.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, as soon as it takes pictures and sends texts, well, I mean, I doubt seriously I'll ever get off
Now,
track
now the
phone.
thing is that Track Phone has those phones.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yes. You just got to order. I don't know how much they cost. But
It doesn't
it's
matter.
a real basic cell phone with big buttons. I just don't know if they have them at the moment because they just recently upgraded Track Phone to 5G. And I don't know if they have a 5G version of it out yet.
I really miss being able to use my second Track Phone because it actually had a QWERTY keyboard that would pop out from underneath the screen. A physical keyboard.
And
That's a
Jitterbug
multi.
does actually have a smartphone now.
Oh, they do.
Yep. But the one that we're looking at, and actually even their flip phone does have an 8-megapixel camera on it.
Nice.
You did something different with your audio, Rich, and I'm not sure what.
It's got a hiss to it.
And it's louder.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yep, that's different.
Oh, I missed my one that had the slide-out keyboard. I had one of those.
Yep, this one was a Motorola. I remember. I mean, I've still got it. It's not hooked up to anything, but I can still use it as a camera. And
My old audio.
Lord knows what else. Might even still be able to play solitaire on it because that came with it. So
Hey,
Solitaire and Snake.
Yep, Snake.
Qualcomm. Oh, good
Got it.
grief.
sucked at that game.
You
Yeah,
sucked at Snake. Damn
I've
it!
still
I have to
got
do that to myself now.
the track phone that we had for such a brief period before they went to 4G, and we had to buy a brand new track phone because the 3G would no longer be compatible with the network. They weren't going to do the backwards compatible. And I actually got on the live chat on the track phone website and said, "Hey, can I still use this thing as a camera? Because it's brand new." And they said, "Sure. Go right ahead. I mean, you won't have any cell service or internet connection or anything, but it's a great camera." I go, "Thanks. Yeah, I toted around at work.
Still have your Wi-Fi.
I've got it in a nice case to where if I'm taking pictures and I drop it, it's not going to shatter anything." And basically, it's got nice little image stabilization feature for the camera and everything. And it for when I'm writing a report where I need photographs, that's my go-to camera for work.
Oh. Who is it that has the Amazon Spy? I know John does.
So does Rich.
So does Rich. You know, I've got the Samuel Jackson. Other day, I said, "Tell me a joke." You ready for this? Hey, Samuel, tell me a snowman joke.
Nobody stopped us in the past.
How do you spot a nervous snowman? Just look out for puddles. That motherfucker's been sweating.
You're going to put your microphone closer to him, Jeff.
I heard it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, Samuel, tell me a joke.
I worked on a movie called Glass. It really shattered all my expectations.
I actually just watched the thing on that entire M. Night Shyamalan 3 movie series just yesterday or day before.
Mm.
One more of those, and we might accidentally summon Kiri.
I think the Alexa is working on that right now.
I just muted it.
Oh, okay. I heard it ping, and I'm going, "Ooh, it's looking up Kiri's email or something. I don't know what it is." Biosignature for all I know. Going to scan the whole planet to see where he is.
M. Night Shyamalan's got a series out. The Sitter. John? I think it's on Netflix.
I don't have Netflix. So.
I do, but I rarely turn things on anymore. No, Lindsay was just
Servant.
apologizing. Oh.
It's called Servant. And it's on Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
Oh, it's got Rupert Grint in it. Well, that's the only name I recognize. I still say he needs to be the Doctor.
Yeah, they really missed their mark. I mean, he was just in the perfect position. He had just got done with the Harry Potter thing.
Yeah.
And
You know how they'll do it.
How?
Hey, Joe.
He'll regenerate and be standing in the open and go, "All right, I'm finally Ginger," and then get hit by a train.
Making the Doctor for 5 minutes in an episode.
All right,
that would be-
somebody called my name. What?
Oh, me. Take a wild guess at how many Taco Bell jokes have been made about the SpaceX toilet problem on the launch pad.
Oh,
Millions and millions and millions.
okay. That means I've already got the video in my head of what I'm gonna do.
You see a little chihuahua floating in outer space going, Yo quiero Taco Bell. Okay.
No, you see the little chihuahua floating through and says, "We're going to need a bigger box." Oh, I loved the Geico commercial. The ad agency that developed the Taco Bell Chihuahua was very smart. They kept the license to the dog. So when Taco Bell fired that company, Geico hired them. And they had the auditions for the spokesman. And, you see a duck waddle out, pretty much all the little creatures. And then the dog comes out and the gecko looks at him and goes, "Well, hello." And the dog looks down and he's the only one that spoke, and the whole thing is, "Oh, great, a talking lizard." Taco Bell sued the ad agency and Geico and lost.
And lost.
Brutally lost.
Yeah. So, hint to all the advertisers: never give up the copyright to your IP.
Oh.
Or ad agencies. Because you never know when you can use it for sweet revenge.
Oh. We could use a good IT guy at work right now. There's a bunch of stuff they want connected up that can't figure out how to connect up.
Oh, God.
Road trip, Rich. Road trip.
No, I mean, they've got company mandated equipment and they can't figure out how to wire it up. And I'm looking at it. I even downloaded the manual for the thing. And I go, look, I'm ignorant about this kind of stuff, but it looks like you've got to actually connect it to a laptop and tell it to do what it's supposed to do. And nobody down here's thought about that yet. I mean, there's a special port for a console to tell it, hey, do your job. We can replace you with a chip.
Did
And
you say chip or chimp?
Either
Either
one.
works.
Yeah.
Hey, a chimp with a chip. I don't, a SIM card.
Honest to God, I honestly believe if it wasn't for the animal rights activists, we would probably have chimpanzees doing manual labor now.
So, most of my time, well, actually, now half my time in IT, I spent actually on the help desk. The rest has been as a trainer. And I have to laugh at all these help desks that are really persnickety about the requirements that they need for first level, and they're wanting degrees and 5 years experience for a level 1 job, which is a script monkey job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
only $12 an hour with all those degrees.
Exactly. But the thing is, I am really bad about having to call tech support. When I call tech support, I rattle off all the testing I've done. And they're like, what? Yeah, it's you gotta have a passion for it. I mean, I can teach anyone. I can teach a drunken monkey how to run first level help desk. If they care. If they don't care, it's not going to help in any way, shape, and or form. But if they care, it's not hard to learn the one-on-one stuff. And once you learn the one-on-one stuff, you're just off and running to the races. It's just how few people care enough. But I have to say, it has been my toast for years. Here's to stupid people. Without them, I'd be unemployed.
Yep. Oh, the thing that gets me, have you turned it off and turned it back on yet? Yeah.
I've turned that device on and off again. I've turned everything that connects to it off and on again. I've disconnected certain things to see if certain things would connect and stay connected. And at that point in time is where I lose them. And they're just like, what? I can see them just like had this glassy, just slack-jawed, staring straight ahead at their monitor. The hell did I get into?
Yeah.
People on a low-level call center, IT, are not used to having somebody that actually knows a lot about how their stuff works. So we've already turned it off and turned it back on again and rebooted the router and rebooted the computer and about a dozen other different things that we all know to do. And
I told you how I got 10 months of internet service for free. Crappy internet service, but I got 10 months of internet service for free.
What'd you do?
Called them, explained what was going on, and explained, it's probably the router. Yes, I know you guys just sent me a router 2 months ago, but same type of things are going on. Interconnectivity between all the machines is fine. We just can't get out. And so, no, they do a bunch of stuff. And after about a month of fighting them with this, I'm like, fine, I'm not paying you anymore. Let's see how long it takes you to cut me off. They couldn't cut off my service because I had an open trouble ticket. They had to send me the router to fix the issue, confirm the issue was fixed, and then say, are you paying all this back? I'm like, I didn't have internet service. Why would I pay you? I'm paying you, X amount of dollars a month for 10 months for nothing. Now, I can understand having to bounce a router once a day. I think it's egregious that you have to bounce a router once a day, but I can be fine with having to bounce my router once a day if I have to. Having to bounce my router 6 times inside of 1 hour, I was ready to dribble the router like a freaking basketball and try to do a 3-point shot.
So apparently I trained my wife a little too well with IT stuff. Because when she was still working for NDOT, they were having their winter tech academy, where it's part of the 3 years of classes we had to go through to become HT1s and then be able to go up to supervisor status if we so chose. And they were having issues with the projector. So of course, everybody immediately looks at her because, well, she's married to me, so she must know IT. And, yeah. Not exactly something you learn by osmosis, but... So, they convince her to call me. She explains what's going on. I'm like, oh, that happened with that projector 100 fucking times. That, here, do this. That didn't work. Okay, do this. That didn't work. All right. Either try and get someone from facilities up there with a step ladder, or find some brave soul to stand on one of those chairs, reach up in the ceiling tile, unplug it, wait 30 seconds, plug it back in. That didn't work. Well, sounds like it's dead. You need to get a hold of the replacement and have him look at it. So she walks across the hall to the guy who took over IT when I left, and she goes, hey, we're doing Tech Academy, projector's not working. And he opened his mouth to say the famous, have you tried turning it off and on again? And she just immediately goes, we did this, we did this, we did this, we did this, we did this. None of it works. And he just went, I'll be right over.
Mm-hmm.
What happened is she messed his brain up and plopped the problem 4 steps into the equation. He's
Into the script, yeah.
and he's trying to get caught up.
Now wait a minute, this is a
There's nothing better
supervisor
when
problem.
you're dealing with another IT person, especially face to face, and you drop that on them like that, and you can watch the blue screen show up in their eyes because you just forced them to crash.
When I switched from help desk to trainer, they took away all my help desk powers, which sucked because at first I was their backup, which means I need to do the same things they can do, because if they call me to say, hey, we're swamped, we need help, I can't help if I don't have my administrator access.
Mm-hmm.
But so a few years down the line, we get a help desk person that came in that the other trainer trained, not me. So the new help desk person wasn't aware I was former help desk. So I call in and I talk to them and I just start rattling off the litany of everything that's going on. I'm like, all right, all I really need is I need someone with administrator access to remote on and put in the admin credentials so the software will finish its install so we can do X, Y, Z. And they're just sitting there just like, but how? What? Huh? Ask Buddy. They're like, what? If you're trying to figure out why I know what I know, ask Buddy. Buddy and I worked together 3 jobs ago, and then he came back shortly after to the firm myself. And so it's Buddy and I have known each other for 21 years this year. Holy crap. Our friendship is old enough to drink. Anyways, so yeah, Buddy leans over. Yeah, he's former help desk. Just remote on, use your A- credentials. They nuked his. So yeah, so that was fun. Is just having a help desk person like, what? Huh? I used to be you a few years ago.
Got reincarnated.
That's why I know.
I am above your boss.
No. Actually, at that point in time, his boss was still my boss. So we both reported to the same manager. So, which was the best manager I've ever had, and I will die on that hill. That
I got one like that.
He's a director now.
Yep.
Yeah, when we got our
like
first,
he's no longer my immediate boss, but we had a good working relationship. We still do. Thankfully, he's in charge of the people that are in charge of me. So,
yeah, when I signed into my TV and internet service, first got it. When I say it was a brand new system, I was the 50th customer online.
How?
Do what?
I said, ow.
Yeah. So I
That's
had,
a lot of bugs.
yeah, I was a bug chaser. Finally, it got to the point where, I would call the back line to the internet side. I had the back number,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yep.
when they answered the back line, it was usually transferred from the main customer service to that number. And they go, it's EPB, how can I help? I go, Jason, it's Joe.
I have had my ISP in Atlanta give me that number because I've been with them for 27 years, and I have had the local phone company guy give me his number so that when the phone company screws up with my connection to my ISP, my official ISP, because the phone company thinks it is, but it's not. I just go through them. They're a gateway. Um, so I've got those two numbers, and I'm going to hate it when the people at those numbers move on to other jobs or retire, because they look at the phone number and they go, "Oh, hey Dan, what's wrong?" I mean, seriously, caller ID is a great thing sometimes.
When I would call them, hey, Jace, Jace, I'd call, they always say their name. I'd say first name, hey, it's Joe. And they knew me by voice.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me get logged in. I didn't even have to give them my password. And they're going, okay, I got to ask you. I said, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, you're using your router. Okay. Then one of them came back and goes, unplug the line from the cable box. What do you mean? You're pulling another ISP number or whatever your address.
IP.
IP.
Your IP. He goes, you've got an extra IP that you're not supposed to have. Unplug it from the cable box. All right. Is it? He goes, that's not what was doing it. Hold on. Let me reboot your ONT. And I'm going, okay. And literally everything in the house would shut off. And then he goes, all right, unplug your router before I turn it back on. So I'd unplug my router and then he boot everything back up. And as we're ending the call, he says, and don't plug into the cable boxes anymore for extra lines. If you guys still got cable boxes, if you look on the back, it's got a USB port.
Mm-hmm.
Or not the USB, the Cat 5 port.
Mm-hmm.
That's an ISP line or an IP line?
It can be.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
That was my solution for the problem at work. I was just going to dig out my old Ethernet router, and I mean, it wasn't even a router; it was just a hub, but it was Ethernet all the way, and take it to work. Plug in the input, plug in the two outputs, tell it this is okay, run this, Shazam. But I would get in trouble for it, so I never did it. I got to wait on them to figure out a company acceptable similar solution.
So my first gig in professional IT, I worked for a plumbing and heating supply company. We had another technician that got hired in after me, whose name was Richie. Richie was born and raised in America, but his Filipino accent was so thick you could barely understand him. And he always answered the phone, "Hello, help desk, itchy, help you." So there were a number of times that I would pick up, "Thank you for calling the help desk. This is Rich. How can I help you?" And they would hang up on me a couple times until they got me. I'm like, I'm the one that picked up the phone all 3 times. You know, you didn't figure out it was me by the fact that I actually could pronounce everything and said everything, not help desk, itchy, help you. So yeah, he was a nice guy. He was a nice guy.
Enough said.
Enough said. Yeah, Carl saying that C5 connection on the back of the cable box is probably for them to install updates or whatever.
Yeah, probably for firmware, yeah.
The service that I have, our TV was IPTV. It actually ran through the internet, the fiber optic internet. The TV is actually a byproduct of the smart grid we've got. But that C5 connection actually was for, you could actually pull another completely different IP off of it.
Mm-hmm. Till they made a rule against it.
Yeah, well, there's a rule against it from the beginning, but
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
yeah. That's how my son's Xbox was working, was through his cable box.
Uh-huh. Oh. No, it's just so many things used to be so simple. And then the world changed several
Yeah.
times. And now the old simple solutions are either not able to work or against the rules.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I learned about the EPB fiber system is they could tell you what box was watching what channel.
Uh-huh.
So you had to be real careful what you watched. And they could tell which box was actually drawing something or was just left on.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wanted you to turn the boxes off. John, you're muted.
Oh, yes, I am. Oh, I said, not in this country. You don't have to worry about what you're watching on the cable box. That's somebody else's problem. Usually religious.
Yeah. Hey, one thing I will say good thing about America, you can have 50 TVs running in the house and ain't gonna be somebody beating on your door wanting extra tax money.
This is true.
Dan knows what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And you don't have to break up extra windows to keep from paying a higher tax. Same thing. Same country.
Yeah.
Just print more money, okay?
Oh, yeah. Well,
What if you live in a glass house, though?
Then you don't throw stones.
And you don't throw those kind of parties.
Dan,
Or
what
you
would
walk around
happen?
naked all the time, so people just stop going by your place.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, what would happen if they
Unless you're
started
sexy like me.
taxing people for windows in houses here in America?
I imagine that Richie's employers would have a whole lot extra business. Might not be the kind of business that they wanted, but there'd be a lot of lawyers in the United States who would suddenly find themselves with extra things to do, and price of ammunition would go up again.
Oh yeah. But you'd see people with some shoddy. We wouldn't brick our windows up. We'd
Just plywood. Yep.
plywood and
Duct tape and hefty bags.
duct tape, hefty bags, strategically arranged to state your opinion.
I have driven by a couple of places where their fence next to the road has been strategically decorated to express their opinion on current political and past political positions.
With
And
colored Dixie cups.
no, this is hand painted. I mean, it's craftsmanship there. Some of them you can even read. Penmanship was never taught in schools after the 60s, I do believe.
No, it was still going in the 80s.
Really?
It was still going in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
90s and early 2000s is where it started to peter out, though. The next few years after mine, now they gave up on me because they're like, okay, you're going to be a doctor or a serial killer, one of the two.
Yeah,
Why
that's
can't I be both?
Neither yet. I'm neither yet.
Keyword is yet.
Well,
Hey, I learned a long time ago, I never say I will never end up being XYZ, because I found out that when I do that, fate and God go, all right, bitch, challenge accepted.
Oh yeah. I don't use the N word around anymore.
oh,
About 35 and a half years ago, I said I'd never get married. Within 2 weeks, I was.
My grandfather always said it'd be a cold day in hell before he got married. It was -15 out the day they got married.
Did they get married in Hell, Michigan?
No, that would have been the icing on the cake, though.
yeah, really. That would have been poetic.
I told my wife, I said, we're never going to have kids. She goes, I hate to tell you this, but I'm pregnant.
That's what I should do. So, Misty and my 20th anniversary is coming up in a couple of years. December 29th of this year, it will be 19. So, 2024, end of 2024, I've got to, pull out the stops for our 20th. The day we got married was very lackluster because we were both poor. The clerk that performed the ceremony was wearing a grumpy sweatshirt, as in the Disney dwarf.
Nice.
Didn't put a robe on or anything like that. Showed up to officiate a wedding in a grumpy sweatshirt.
He knows what he's talking about then.
I'm still a little pissed off about that. But so I want to do a bigger ceremony for Misty, so I'm thinking of doing a renewal of vows. Vows. Vows.
You have to buy
Well,
one.
yeah, well, the vowels
choose a
wear out
constant
every
that
once
you
in a while.
Wow.
Well, there are two in weddings, so find a way to be in Hell, Michigan on our 20th anniversary, and then have a surprise renewal of vows there. So it'll be a cold day in hell before we renew our vows. And watch, it'll be like 70 degrees.
Yeah.
AELOU.
Cold for you guys.
Alu? Who the heck is Alu?
Oh no, Dawn! Don't tell me you're one of those folks that think there are 37 letters in the alphabet. We had a guy at work that was trying to be trained in alphanumeric for the computer system, and the fellow that was training him goes, "Well, you know how many letters are in the alphabet?" He says, "Yeah, 37."
My wife just gave off her position behind me. I could hear her sneezing over my headset.
I heard her voice, but I did not understand what she said.
She said she had to sneeze.
Oh,
Because everybody
autocorrect.
knows
Okay, that explains a lot, Dawn.
Hey, I
There's a
hate autocorrect because I've never
there's a-
called anybody a dumb duck.
Yeah, really.
Or
There's
ducking
there's
it.
a way to turn that stuff off. I understand. I wish I could figure out how my phone would respond to it. It has corrected my spelling maybe 5 times, and I'm going.
I think
Dialect is a thing, you know.
I think my autocorrect has had a heart attack. I know my speech to text has finally given up the ghost. It's like, all right, say whatever the hell you want. We think it's this.
Hey, if I can manage to teach a speech to text to handle my accent when I'm in character as a Southerner, it can be done, but it takes a lot of patience.
So Microsoft Office changed its name in 2020 to Microsoft 365. It used to be Microsoft Office 365, and they just dropped the Office out of it. I don't know when they put in the dictate feature that they have in and when they've improved it, but previous versions of speech to text inside of native Microsoft products was abysmal. Apparently, Outlook is able to understand my cadence and my dialect and my my pronunciations, where Word is not as good. And I find that weird because I figured it would be the same speech to text engine.
Not
Never seen that with Microsoft.
Apparently, I made an ass out of Microsoft AI.
Well, that's not as bad as what my OnStar did to me. I had OnStar on my other car. You know, it also acts as a telephone, hands-free telephone. And you know, you push the button and you say dial and you say say the phone number with area code and all that, and it would go, "Do you want me to call?" and give 100% completely different numbers that I said. After about 5 times of this, I went, "Oh, you fucking bitch!" Calling Donna. I'm shutting it off, and I look over, and my daughter's looking at me, going, "Dad!" I'm going, "No."
You taught that one entirely too well. And too many practice sessions on that one.
I said, "You better not say a damn word about this."
Crow's
Want
birth
some ice
name
cream?
Is it's a very good name. It's a very beautiful name. We call it the birth name because it's not a dead name yet, because they haven't decided on whether they're going to go back to their birth name or not at some point in time. They understand they're 15. Things change. They don't know what the future holds. So I have to applaud that they're very mature about their whole identity thing. And we try to be as supportive for it as possible, but knowing them a certain way for so many years, it's hard not to use the old pronouns. It's hard not to use the old name,
yeah.
especially when I'm pissed. Because when I'm pissed, all 4 names just kind of roll off because Crow has 2 middle names. But trying to get the speech to text features for call and then their birth name's phone was so horrendous it's not even funny. So we just did the short version, and sometimes it would work on the short version, so we try to remember to use the short version. When we switched over and put Crow's name as Crow in all of our devices, it still has a problem. How the hell, Crow Asplund? It's not rocket science. It's not like it's umlauts and other weird characters and stuff like that. It's very basic phonetics.
Oh, back when I had a phone that would actually tell me who was calling if they were on my contact list.
Oh, yeah.
Phone would say, Mama's calling. Smart phone. I mean, seriously. Can really learned from my well, it actually pronounced Mama correctly. So I like that.
With one of my exes, I would answer the phone a very specific way. Not really the kind of thing that you'd want to say to, say, your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Had a friend borrow my phone. The bastard went in, changed the contact name on Mom to my girlfriend. Phone rang, saw it was my girlfriend, answered the phone that way. Richard! Son of a bitch.
Man, this show's flown by. Sorry, go ahead. I just have to look up the timer.
I once was at home and I had a very busy day at work where I had to answer the phone at the machine that I was running over and over and over again. Didn't have caller ID. My mom called. I answered with the name of the machine that I had been running that day. She did not understand what was going on. And to this day, I don't understand why when I was sitting at home, I answered with my work voice with the name of the machine. But evidently I had to do it so many times that day, I'd just gotten programmed.
Oh.
There was another time when I was trying to be funny and I was answering phone calls with just little jokes and things. And my mom called, no caller ID, did not know. I answered, Hollifield's Home for Wayward Women, Mr. Wayward speaking. She liked that one.
Oh, when Dan says he was working and programming, he did that he just programmed his brain to say this.
Uh-huh.
Joe, you'll get a kick out of this. I drove a dump truck for a while, and we had a job that was like a mile and a half away from the quarry.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those big jobs to where I got 25 loads that day. It was pretty much pull in, do the UE, back up, dump, back to the quarry. When I got off work, I had to go. I didn't have to go home. I had to go somewhere out in that general area.
Mhm.
Well, in that general direction. I realized I screwed up when I turned into the quarry.
So I did something like that one night. I was heading to pool leagues. We were playing at a bar just across the state line in Illinois. And for those who know this area, taking 8094 over into Illinois, getting off on Torrance Avenue, which is the first exit crossing into Illinois. Well, that's also where we turned around when plowing. And the way the ramp was set up was perfect. You'd get up to the stoplight, you get the protected left turn, and you just loop right on back down the ramp to start heading back east. I'm bebopping along. It's middle of summer. Heading out to leagues, get up to Torrance. I'm sitting there at the light. I'm in the left lane. Light turns green. I take the left turn and go right back on down the ramp. And I'm cruising along, and then I look up and I see, "Welcome to Indiana." Fuck. Call my captain. "Christy, I'm going to be late." "Why, traffic bad?" "No, I'm an idiot." "What?" "Yeah, I turned around to Torrance. I'm going back into Indiana." "Oh, well, while you're back in Indiana, can you pick me up a pack of cigarettes? I forgot to grab some, and I'm not paying their prices out here." Get off on Calumet Avenue, stop at the gas station, pick her up her pack of cigarettes, get back on the interstate. Damn near did it a second time.
Uh-huh.
But that was just, we'd go up on the plow truck, take that left turn back down, and I'm surprised when I went down I didn't just instinctively pull off onto the shoulder, because it was that ramp shoulder that we'd get out, check, see how much salt we had left, and go on.
I am afraid that after I retire, if I am ever on the road at one of the times a day that I would have actually been on my way to work,
Oh, you're going to drive there.
yeah,
No
just
doubt about it.
automatic, just make the turn and wind up going. I was supposed to go straight. What? Never mind.
Mhm.
Take a right. Get off on the next exit. Keep going.
Oh, I got one better for you. When I was working, I had to get up so early, the kids and Donna were still asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I would get up, get dressed, get in the car, go to work. So one Monday morning, I get up, I get dressed, I go to work. Damn, there ain't many cars out this morning. Must hit the lights just right. Pull into the parking lot. Ghost town. What the hell? I know it's not Sunday. Guard comes walking out and goes, "It's Memorial Day." I said, "Don't tell nobody." He goes, "I'm not. You're about the fifth person this morning."
Oh,
Well, at least he was getting a good chuckle that day.
when I first got the daytime only job, I would wake up about 3 a.m. Just, sound sleep. Didn't matter if it was weekday or weekend. I'd wake up, go to the bathroom, walk-in closet between the bedroom and the bathroom. As I came back through the walk-in closet, I put on my work clothes, go get my wallet and keys and everything, put my coat on, head on out the door, get in the car, head for work. And most of the time, about halfway to work, I'd look at the clock on the dashboard. and go, what am I doing at 3:45 on the road? And turn around, go back to the house, and go back to bed, because evidently I either dreamed that I heard the alarm clock go off, or it was Saturday and the alarm clock wasn't supposed to go off, and I thought I was going to be late for work because I did not wake up until after I had had coffee, and the coffee machine was at work. So it took me about 6 months to break that. Lindsay said I was basically just sleepwalking, and that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
You program your body to do something, so your body's going to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like with the answering the phone thing, my mom was the unit secretary at the hospital for years.
Be right back.
And every once in a while, she would slip up. I'd call the house phone from a friend's house or something, and she'd answer the phone, and I'd hear 2 East, Bachman unit secretary. Mom, you're not at work. I didn't call your work number. The best was having the cops show up to our house occasionally, because she was so used to the hospital system where she had to hit 9 before to get an outside line.
When this phone goes off, I go and do my customer support voice.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time, and actually when I'm doing training sessions, I kick into my customer support voice. My children, the first time they heard me in my professional capacity, since I started working from home most of the time, they're just like, that is weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your way of talking. I'm like, when I get paid, it is.
Well, what's bad is when you use that voice on somebody else outside of work and they look at you and go, don't use your customer service voice on me. You're just as dead inside as I am.
I actually, this past weekend, ran into one of my old bosses, the stupid ones.
Ran into or ran over?
We were at the home show, and he looks at me, smiles a big smile. Hi, Joe, how are you doing? And I looked at him dead in the face and said, none of your fucking business. And he's like, oh, you don't have to be that way. And I said, I can say whatever the fuck I want to you, sorry, cock-sucking bastard. I just cussing him. Everybody around's going. And finally I said, and the best part about it, you can't do a fucking thing about it.
Nobody here, nobody's watching has seen me mad. Joe has seen me irked. Bachman. Trey might have been around when I went into a rant that I was getting close to being mad because of certain things, and fencing is a great place to vent those because I can actually do physical exertion to get some of the anger out as well. But anyways, so one morning, I'm the first one in our little area. So we've got a small cube farm inside of a room just outside the server room where we've got all the racks and telecom stuff and things. And I got this is the Social Security Administration in a really bad Indian accent. I shouldn't say bad, in a really thick Indian accent. Saying that my Social Security number's been frozen and all that. And of course, I know it's a scam because I know how Social Security numbers work. They don't get frozen. Anyways, sorry, I digress. So I went into such a rant that Dennis Leary and Andrew Dice Clay and Sam Kinison and Bill Hicks would have all been like, dude, you're here. let's go to here. As far as the F-bomb laden rant, I didn't realize the other trainer had come in the room. Well, apparently 6'4", 400 and I think 30-ish pounds is what I was at the time. And of course, resting thug face, yelling at someone to go F themselves and in very creative ways, scared her. So I actually got an HR strike for that. And the thing is, they didn't call me to HR for another 18 months after that. 18 months after the incident is when they finally called me down. I'm like, I actually remember that incident very well. I feel that is something that is threatening. Well, if I would have fallen for it, it could have had felonies put against me using my Social Security information. I could have lost my house. I could have, lost my job. Because working for a law firm, if I get arrested for stupid shit, but by job, even though I'm not an attorney, even though I'm not, part of the bar or anything like that, they can't have that kind of thing associated with the firm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it took them a year and a half to call me down for that. So I'm like, it's a year and a half later. Is there really a reason to talk about this? But yeah, it was because I felt my family was threatened. The firm actually has a policy. It's okay to curse as long as you're not cursing at someone. So I can say the F-bomb, or I can say something is effing stupid. I just can't say someone is effing stupid, or I can't tell them to F you or F off or something like that. I can say son of a bitch. I can't say you're a son of a bitch. It's the way that the language is framed. And I keep pointing out the profanity policy to my boss because she's like, don't tell HR I said shit.
Sorry, you went
Fine.
robot voice there.
I'm not going to take it to HR over a word. I said I'm not going to take them to HR over a word.
Mm.
It's I swear all the time. I'm not taking my boss to HR because, oh my God, I said the S word. All right, and we're adults. We're adults using adult language in an adult setting. We're not using inflammatory language towards one another. So I mean, why are you freaking out?
I'd gotten a ticket back from IoT one time that I'd sent down to. I can't remember what I was requesting from them. It was something I didn't have access to do. And the reason they sent back for not doing it and closing the ticket was just something so completely idiotic.
Mm.
And I'm sitting in my cubicle, and it was one of those days that I was done with everything and the filter had left.
Yeah.
And I go, you've got to be effing kidding me. Just loud. And then I stopped and I looked around and went, oh shit, I'm in my cubicle. Because all of a sudden there was just dead silence throughout the entire office.
Joe, you're not saying you reached the CG point.
The CG point?
Yeah, the CG point.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
And then my director kind of peeks her head over the cubicle. She goes, how's it going?
Great, can't you tell?
I've had better days, Sarah, and about that time I hear Lauren and lady I work with, Dawn, just giggling over on the other side of the office.
It would have been Dawn giggling too.
I
asked a question why Uncle Sam was disliking my customer service voice, because my hearing for my disability was over the phone. and I worked at a call center for 6 years. So when I am on the phone, it automatically goes to, oh, well, yes, this is Dawn. How can I help you today? And the whole entire hearing, I was talking like this, and they said that I sounded way too chipper to be in pain.
Ah.
Yeah.
You stupid fucks! Do you not understand masking?
That's part of it. I mean, that's part of where my denial has come in, is that I was way too chipper to be in pain that day.
I forgot I wasn't getting paid to say that. Yeah. No, I ran into something similar when Lindsay and I first got married, because I've got a very clear and precise voice that I use when I'm dealing with some kind of customer service on the phone, and she called it my Spock voice. It was that precise and enunciated that clearly that my southern accent disappeared entirely.
Mhm.
And I go, yes, sorry about that, honey. Hope it didn't scare you none, but I find that it puts them on edge, and they're more eager to help me if I sound like I'm highly educated rather than the moderately educated that I actually am, and sound like I'm somebody that should be running a company instead of running from them. But
I think Joe Dog's trying to give us the
yeah, we got
signals.
we got 3 minutes left. We got 3 minutes
Thank
left.
y'all
It's
for
time
calling customer service. This is Ahmed speaking. How can I help y'all?
Yeah, really.
Just to hear the guy on the other end of the phone go, "Who the fuck are you?"
All right, it's time to play High Flight so I can get Last Man Standing started, so I can go to work tomorrow.
All right. Well, I want to thank y'all for coming in, especially you, John. If you can't make it here on time, just make it when you can.
Like me, I just pop in randomly.
Make it here on time.
Yeah, really. And the link is there, Dawn. I mean, if you're going to be awake for a while, pop in.
Dawn. I thought you said John. I was like, I was here before the show started. What are you talking about?
No, I was talking to Dawn. Okay. All right. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night,
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Take a
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, and touched the face of God.